Welcome to episode 30 of Vampire Survivors-like game in Unity, boss spawn and tracking boss health. So sometimes in the game you want to spawn a powerful adversary. Open the events and add a new event type called spawn enemy boss. Go into stage event manager and add a missing case for spawn enemy boss. Inside we want to spawn the enemy boss on the map. And then we will want to track the enemy boss health. In the enemies manager we want to introduce a way to track all the boss enemy health. Create a list of all boss enemies on the scene. Then two variables, total boss health and current boss health. We will use those two variables for boss health bar. Then when you spawn an enemy we want to pass a parameter of type bool called isBoss. And if this enemy when called to be spawned is marked as boss, go and create a new method called spawnBossEnemy. We will be storing references to the all bosses active on the scene, so we need a list for them. Check if the list is null and initiate it. Then add newly spawned boss into the list. Get the health of the boss and add it into the total boss health pool to calculate the total boss health on the scene. In the update we want to update the total boss health, we will be seen on the screen. So create a new method called updateBossHealth. Create serialized field for boss health bar. Then in update boss health, reset the current value of current boss health and cycle through every boss enemy on the scene and add their current HP value into the variable. Future Greg here. Ignore everything you see right now, besides this part. Let's add a check to avoid possible error of trying to reference already destroyed object. That's all. Back to the usual program. And set the slider value to the current boss health. In the spawn boss enemy we are calculating total amount of boss health, so set the max value of the boss HP to be total boss health. In update boss health, we need to exit out of execution if our boss enemy list is empty. So check for null state of the list. And if the list is empty. Okay, good. On this scene, copy the experience bar to make a boss HP bar. Good. Now because our enemy manager is on the stage scene, while boss HP bar is on the essential scene, we want to create and add boss HP bar component. So we can use it to cache the reference to the HP bar from enemy manager. In the event manager, when we spawn enemies, we need to specify are we spawning boss or not a boss. Good. Let's test this. Set the stage 1 event to spawn a boss. Good. When we spawn a boss, our HP bar will be filled and reflect status of our boss. But if we try to spawn 2 or more boss enemies, it will only spawn 1 dude. This is happening because we are calling spawn enemy multiple times to spawn one enemy. We do it by using the for loop. Instead we want to call it once, but use for loop inside the spawn enemy to spawn multiple enemies based on the stage event settings. We need to do the same for spawn objects. This is important to understand that you should not be scared of refactoring and changing your code when you see you have a better way to do something. We will be doing much more refactoring later on in the tutorial. Good. And in the spawn enemy boss called spawn enemy. and add parameter call boss enemy. So if we are spawning boss enemies, we will pass true. If we spawning normal enemies, we will pass false. Good. Now the game spawn multiple boss enemies. This episode is brought to you by generous support of people on Patreon and members on YouTube. If you want to join them, link to my Patreon in the description, and the join button available right now on YouTube. If you join at $10 or more, you will get access to project files on Patreon. We don't want to have our boss HP bar always present on the screen, so set the find object of type to search for inactive objects. And now we can hide our enemy HP bar and it will still be found by find object of type. When we spawn boss enemy, show the boss health bar. So when enemy spawn, we enable our HP bar. And we want to hide the bar. When we defeat all the bosses. In the update boss health, if the sum of the enemy boss health is equal or less than 0, meaning all bosses have been defeated, hide the HP bar. And clear the list of the enemies, because all of them are defeated and we don't need references to their stats anymore. So now, if I launch the game and test it, if we defeat all the boss enemies, the bar will become hidden. This is it for this episode. Special thank you to The Soul Hashdu and David Fahi. With best regards, see you in the next episode.